Let us derive the IS curve graphically. We take the four graphs. Let us say this is the first quadrant, second, third, and fourth. In the first quadrant, we draw the investment level on the horizontal axis and rate of interest on the vertical axis. This graph is a graph for the investment function. That is, there is a negative relationship between rate of interest and investment. That means when rate of interest increases, investment decreases, as we know. So this is the investment function, first graph. In the second graph, we take investment and savings. That is, this graph is a graph which we draw for the line of equality. This is a graph where savings is equal to investment. That is, S is equal to I. Savings is equal to investment, because we know that IS is a locus of pointers showing different combinations of income and interest rate, which ensures product market equilibrium or commodity market equilibrium. Commodity market equilibrium is achieved only when savings are equal to investment, or the leakages are equal to investment. So this line shows the line of equality. Okay, in the next graph we draw the savings function. Let us say we have a saving function of S is equal to minus 20 plus 0.5 y. So we draw the savings function on this line. We have minus 20 as intercept, so the saving function would look like this. That means here S is the autonomous savings or dis-savings, and Y is the income, and 0.5 is marginal propensity to save. That means when income is equal to 0, S is equal to minus 20. So on this axis we write the savings, and on this axis we write the income. And lastly, in the fourth quadrant, we actually derive the IS curve. On the y-axis, on this axis we have the income, level of income, and on this axis we have rate of interest. We take this interest and this very income. Now let's take an example. Let us say, for the sake of simplicity, that the rate of interest was 3%. Let us say we have the interest rate of 3% or 4%. Now corresponding to 4%, let us say we have the investment of $40 or $40 million. That means when the rate of interest was 4%, the investment level was $40 million, let us say. Now we take this very 40, because in the next graph we have 40 on, we have investment on the horizontal axis. We take this very point, and we have 40 here also, because we are measuring investment here. Now when investment is 40 on this graph, savings should be also equal to 40. Why? Because this is a line of equality where savings is equal to investment, implies here savings is also equal to 40. Okay, now we take this very savings. Here we have vertically shown savings, so we will take this point on the third graph. So we have this very point, which is 40. So we have 40 as savings. Now we have to see when will be savings equal to 40. That means if savings should be equal to 40, what will be our level of income? So we put S is equal to 40 in this equation. So we have 40 is equal to minus 20 plus 0.5 y. When solving this, this will become 40 plus 2 is equal to 60. And this is 1 by 2, though 60 into 1 by 2 is 120, implies y is equal to income. Our income level should be equal to 120 to have the savings of $40 million. Means the income level should be equal to 120. Okay, we take the rate of interest and income and draw these 2 points. The intersection of these 2 points gives us a point for IS curve. That is, let us say we have here it is 4%, and we have income of 120. So this very point This very point is the point which shows a rate of interest is 4% and corresponding to income level of $120 million, let us say. Now, let us assume that the interest rate goes down from 4% to 3%. If interest rate goes down from 4% to 3%, obviously the investment will increase because there is negative relationship between rate of interest and investment. So when interest rate goes down, investment will increase. Let us say it increases from 40 to 50. Okay, so in the second graph we will have an investment level of 50. It is obviously because we are taking investment on this axis. Now we have 50 as investment. Our savings should be also equal to 50 to ensure the product market equilibrium where savings is equal to investment. We take this 50 on this axis, so our savings should be equal to 50. Now to have $50 million as savings, what should be the level of income? So we take S is equal to 50 and take C, then what will be the level of income? We have S is equal to 50, that means S is equal to 50 is equal to minus 20 plus 0.5y. When solving, this will be 50 plus 2 is 70 into 2 is 140. Implies to have a savings of 50, our income should be 140. Income level should be 140. Okay, to ensure we have sufficient savings to generate the balance in the new level of investment. To get savings is equal to 50 and investment is equal to 50, our income should increase from 120 to 140 to ensure we have the savings of 50. Now we take this very point 140 here, we take this 140 here. So I will try to see, we have here 140 and we have correspondingly rate of interest is 3%. Now joining these 2 pointers, this 3% and 140, 3%, 140, we have this point here. Now when we join these 2 pointers, we get a curve, because for drawing any curve we need at least 2 pointers. We get a curve which is called the IS curve, and every point on the IS curve is a point where savings is equal to investment, because we know that IS is a curve which shows different combinations of income. Let us say the combination of 120 and 4%. Another combination is 140 and 3%. We have different combinations of income and interest rate which ensure product market equilibrium, and every point is a point which shows the product market equilibrium, or where the savings are equal to the investment. Okay, now one thing is to be seen here. If the investment increases, if we have seen here investment has increased, let us say from 40 to 50, so increase in investment should be come with the increase in the income will increase by the multiplier process. That is, the investment has a multiplier effect on the income. If investment increases, income also increases. Why the income should have increased? Because to get the new level of investment, that is 50, we should have savings also equal to 50. Previously we were only having the savings of 40. Now to ensure that we have 50 as the savings, because a saving is a function of income, so savings will only increase if income increases from 120 to 140. There is positive relationship between savings and income. On this axis we have the negative relationship between rate of interest and investment. Okay, so I repeat here, we were told to draw the graph of the IS curve. For this, we need the four graphs or four quadrants. In the first quadrant, we take the saving function and investment function. Investment was the function of rate of interest. Investment was the function of interest. There was negative relationship. We take a downward sloping investment curve. That means when R is high, investment is low. When R is low, investment is high. When rate of interest was 4%, investment level was $40 million, let us say. On the second graph, we take a graph for savings is equal to investment. Because every point on this graph is a point, we show savings is equal to investment. We take investment on horizontal axis, savings on vertical axis. Now we have here 40%, 40 as the investment. We take this 40 here as investment because we are measuring investment on the same axis. Okay, now if savings investment is 40, our saving should be also equal to 40 to ensure saving is equal to investment. Here we have 40 40. On the third graph, we take the savings function. Saving is a function of income, and the relationship we have shown, S is equal to minus 20 plus 0.5y, where minus 20 is the autonomous savings and 0.5 is the marginal propensity to save. That is okay. So on the vertical axis, we take savings. Our savings was 40 here, so we take this very point here, 40. Now when will be savings is equal to 40? We will see. We take S is equal to 40 in this equation. We get value of Y is equal to 120. That means to have savings of 40, our income should be equal to 120. And we take this Y, this 120 on this axis, and this rate of interest, we get this very point. After that, we suppose that rate of interest decreases from 4 to 3%. Obviously, savings will increase, investment will increase from 40 to 50. We take this 40 on this axis. Now, if investment is 40, our savings should be also equal to 40 to ensure savings are equal to investment. We have a 45-degree of line of equality. Now, if savings is 50, we take savings 50 here. Now, when will be savings equal to 50? That means savings will be equal to 50 only when the income is equal to 140, because of the saving function implies to have more savings we should have more income of 140. So we take the income on the vertical or horizontal axis and rate of interest on vertical axis. The intersection of these two points gives us another point. Now joining these two points gives us a curve which is called the IS curve, which shows the different combinations of rate of interest and income, which ensures product market equilibrium. I hope I make myself clear. If there are some mistakes in pronouncing the names or anything, I really apologize. If you like this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe.